Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Weathersfield Board of Education. It's Tuesday, June 14, 2022, and we're in the Town Hall Council Chambers. Ellen, can we have roll call, please?
Good evening, everyone. Mrs. DeRoberts?
Here.
Mrs. Drew?
Here.
Mrs. Granato?
Present.
Mr. Healy?
Here.
Mr. Lacavoli?
Here.
Dr. Regan Lefebvre?
Here.
Mr. Riley?
Here.
Vice Chairperson Mr. Cassio?
Present.
Chairperson Mr. Carey?
Present.
And Weathersfield High School Student Representative Ms. Lena Usello. All present.
Thank you. If we could rise and have Ms. Drew lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Emmett, student staff recognition, please.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I have to say that this exercise is one that is bittersweet. While we're here to recognize and say thank you to all of our retirees, the sad part is that we're losing a tremendous amount of experience and really part of the fabric of our district. Our retirees this year collectively amount to over 400 years of experience. And that is experience that will not be replaced. So this evening I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize our retirees. We have short biographies for those who are in attendance this evening, and for those who are not in attendance this evening, I will certainly announce names and provide the biography in the Friday update. So we'll start off with Wethersfield High School. I know we have one of our staff members from Wethersfield High School that has a lengthy commute, so we want to make sure we get her on her way and get her home. But if I could please have Miss Diane Adamson come forward. Diane is a very special person and teacher. Her impact on WHS cannot be measured. Over the years, she has taken new colleagues under her wing and helped them. Within her department, Diane has served as a leader even before taking on the role of department liaison. She has also volunteered her time to help sports teams by sharing her reffing knowledge, and most important is her relationship with kids. Diane has supported thousands of Weathersfield students throughout the years. She understands teenagers and works to help them succeed. Diane has formed special relationships with many students, but her bond with the adaptive life skills students is extra special. It is something that all of us as educators should strive for. Beyond the classroom, Diane has been the social queen of WHS. She has helped to organize potluck lunches, post-grad gatherings over at the 99, and much more over her many years at WHS. She gets people involved in doing things together when we didn't realize we needed it so much. WHS will never be the same without Diane Adamson, and we truly appreciate all that she has given to us. Ladies and gentlemen, Diane Adamson. If I could please have Miss Mary Ellen Civitello come forward. Mary Ellen started working in Wethersfield as a lunch aide at Charles Wright Elementary School in 1995, and in 1999 began working as a paraprofessional at Hanmer. She has worked at the Webb Kindergarten Center, Charles Wright, and Highcrest as a paraprofessional, and finished her career at WHS. She has seen students graduate who she was a paraprofessional for in preschool, from start to finish. Mary Ellen is a kind, patient, flexible person who has been willing to support all of the students in every classroom in which she has worked. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Mary Ellen Civitello. And I'd also like to honor this evening those who are not with us, but Sandra Blancazzo, retiring from Wethersfield High School. Deborah Butler, special education teacher, retiring from Wethersfield High School. Lisa Tomasowicz, retiring from Wethersfield High School. So if I could please have a round of applause for those great professionals. If I could please have Miss Deb Davis come forward. Wethersfield Public Schools hired Deborah Davis in August of 2007. She began her career at Emerson Williams teaching grades 2 and 3. After 4 years, Deb was transferred to Highcrest Elementary. Was that the great move of 2011? I think it was. I remember it well. Deb has taught 11 years of third grade at Highcrest. The minute she stepped into Highcrest, her presence could be felt immediately by the students and the staff. She is an extremely hardworking, serious educator who plans meticulously for her students. Her thoughtful and careful planning could be seen in her top-notch math and reading workshops her students participated in every day. She is known for her engaging teaching style, her sense of humor, and passion for children's literature. You can always find Deb reading a picture book to her class and pausing to ask students questions about the importance of the story. Deb never stops teaching, often at the razzing of her coworkers, only to be interrupted by the final bell ringing at 3:25. And even then, she would still find a way to get in one last lesson as her students were walking to the bus. Deb's sense of humor, energy, and one-liners are what makes working with her so much fun. However, those who have had the pleasure of working closely with Deb have always appreciated her wisdom and sound advice. Deb is a gem who instilled a love of learning in teachers and students alike. She will be greatly missed by the Highcrest students, families, and staff. Ladies and gentlemen, Deb Davis. If I could please have Miss Sue Gallow come forward. Sue Gallow has been a well-known name in the Highcrest community since 2004. Sue has taught hundreds of children in her career, and at Highcrest, she has impacted students in 3rd and 4th grade. Sue is known for her positive community building, both in her classroom and throughout the school. She was a fierce advocate for her students, as well as a valuable team member that collaborated with grade level and district colleagues. She organized and facilitated an immigration unit that students and families still talk about to this day. And I know some of our board members have visited in the past. She is an active member of our cheer committee, and her thoughtfulness toward others is a part of what makes the Highcrest family proud to have Sue Gallow as a colleague. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Sue Gallow. If I could please have Sandy Baldwin come up. Wethersfield Public Schools hired Sandy Baldwin in the fall of 2015. Sandy has been a reading tutor at Highcrest Elementary for the past 7 years. She's an active member of the Highcrest family. Her kindness and patience in working with students really stood out. Her drive and work ethic set the bar high for those who work around her. She's efficient and effective in her ability to follow the schedule, and she follows through with the responsibilities of the reading tutor role. Every minute matters to Sandy, and no matter if she is walking through the hallways with the student or sitting at her reading table, she is focused on the learning target for the day. We are grateful to have had Sandy as part of the reading team at Highcrest Elementary School, and the entire Highcrest community will miss her. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandy Baldwin. And now representing Webb Elementary School, if I could please have Miss Mary Gothers come forward. Mary Gothers is retiring after teaching physical education in Wethersfield for the past 18 years. The last 16 of those years have been spent at the Samuel B. Webb Elementary School, where she has taught students from preschool through grade 6. Similar to her love of running and biking, Mary's teaching career has certainly followed the scenic route. She began her career by teaching religion for 1 year in Belize. Then she came back to Connecticut and taught English and language arts for 9 years in both West Hartford and Glastonbury. At that point, Mary's love and passion for health and wellness took over, and she decided to change course and teach physical education, which began in Hartford for 2 years as a part-time PE teacher. Mary's always been a team player. She consistently works with classroom teachers, the school nurse, the PTO, the Unified Arts teachers, and other peers to plan extra activities for her students to experience and enjoy. This includes the after-school running club at Webb, which Mary has supervised since its inception. Mary routinely collaborates with her fellow PE teachers to get new ideas for lessons and to keep things fresh for her students. Mary is also one of the kindest, most generous, and most passionate educators. She cares deeply about the health and wellness of her students and dedicates countless hours at school and within the community to ensure her students receive an excellent physical education. As a teacher, a colleague, and mom, Mary has always been considered to know the needs of others before her own. And she is always the first to lend a helping hand. We will all miss Mary deeply. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Gallow. Also retiring from Webb Elementary School, but not with us this evening, I'd like to recognize Sandy Shea, special education teacher, and Paula Martirano, paraeducator. Okay. And that concludes the in-person recognition, but I do want to recognize several other retirees who are not with us here this evening. From Silas Deane Middle School, the following folks will be retiring. Mr. Patrick Stratton, guidance counselor. Barbara Wood, special education teacher. Sheila Solinger, guidance counselor. Mr. Dave Sicente, security guard. Ms. Helen Palazzo, administrative assistant. So congratulations, everybody, Silas Deane Middle School. And we have 2 retirees from Hanmer who are not with us this evening. Our longtime nurse, Miss Gail Sullivan, will be retiring, and Dr. Beverly Uliano, our language speech clinician, will be retiring as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in recognizing Gail and Beverly. And from Charles Wright Elementary School, we have 1 retirement. Miss Pam Raganese, a tutor for 20 years in the district, will be retiring. Pam, congratulations. And at Emerson Williams Elementary School, we have 1 retiree, Miss Jacqueline Gansey, who will be retiring, our paraeducator. So again, congratulations, Pam. And again, I wish all of our retirees all the best in the future. And again, a heartfelt thank you for everything you have done for the children of the Wethersfield Public Schools. Thank you.
Any board members wishing to make comments before they all run out on us? They're still running, I guess. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Adamson. And John, we'll just keep going.
You're running. Go, John.
Good luck to all of you. Enjoy your time and relax. Thank you for everything.
And Bobby?
I just want to add my thank you and enjoy retirement. It's a lot of fun. Enjoy.
Any other board members? Thank you, everyone. Best of luck. And moving on to approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the May 24th, 2022 minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? With a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
So noted.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Public comment. Anyone in the public wishing to make comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 5 minutes.
Hi, my name is Cindy Cruz, and my address is 15 Casey Lane here in Wethersfield. I am here tonight to speak to you on behalf of our dance coach, Miss Mindy McLaughlin. My daughter Adriana is here with me tonight, and she has been a member of the Weathersfield High School dance team for the past 4 years. And I just wanted to say a few words regarding Mindy. I recently learned that Mindy is not really recognized right now as an official coach for the Weathersfield High School dance team. I never knew that until recently. And I'm here to tell you that Mindy stepped in when the team really had little to no direction. 4 years ago, we had some issues with coaching, and for a short period of time, we were without a coach. And Mindy McLaughlin agreed to take that on and help bring the team up, boost their morale, mentor them, inspire them, and she has helped lead them to several competition wins. We are currently state champs for the CIAC, and she's just done an amazing job. Because my daughter has been on the team for 4 years, I can tell you that watching my daughter and watching the other members of the dance team see their interaction with Coach Mindy, she has been their loudest cheerleader at each of the events that we've been to. She has put in countless hours, not only when she's with the team, but also behind the scenes, you know, preparing when they're going to perform at football and basketball games, oftentimes at senior nights for soccer and lacrosse, and also, you know, scheduling practices and different things for a competition. I mean, she really, really has stepped up and done an amazing job coaching the team. And personally, I feel that she should be treated and acknowledged as an actual coach. The dance team is an actual school sport. It is recognized as a school sport, and we are recognized by the CIAC as an athletic team. And therefore, the person leading the team and coaching the team should be recognized accordingly, not only in her title, how it reads in a contract, but she should also be hopefully compensated accordingly, similar to her peers, other coaches in the district, whether it be, I don't know, gymnastics, cheerleading. Cheerleading seems to be the most obvious because they're similar. And she puts in a lot of time and a lot of hours, and if we are not willing to do that, then we are doing a disservice to Mindy and to the team, because they really look up to her. And I would like to see, hopefully, some change come about in Mindy's favor. Thank you.
Hope I can see. Good evening. My name is Mary Ilinardo. I'm a resident at 29 Drummer Lane here in town. I'm a parent of 3. 2 are WHS alumni, class of 2015 and 2019. And my youngest is my daughter Sarah, who is just finishing up her freshman year. I've always felt strongly my children should be involved in as many sports and activities offered at the high school, and this is for various reasons. First, giving them the opportunity to continue playing a sport that they've played for years leading up to high school. Second, for academic reasons. Always believed a high school sport team helps to teach time management, managing practice and game schedules, along with keeping up with schoolwork and studies. And lastly, for social reasons. the bond that is formed among teammates, especially given the number of hours together during practices and games. My daughter has been dancing competitively for a few years and always interested in becoming a member of the WHS dance team. She had a wonderful year being a member of the team this school year and very much wants to continue on the dance team. I have my concerns. Will there be a dance team next year? No coach for the dance team potentially equates to no dance team. Now, of course, there's no discussion on the table to disband the dance team. However, recently learning of the inequities in the stipends between the dance team coach and the varsity cheer coach, these teams are fair to compare since both run 2 consecutive seasons. I learned of the monetary differences between a varsity coach stipend and a club stipend, as outlined in the teachers' union contract. I was utterly surprised to learn the dance team is listed as a club in the contract, but to learn the cheer varsity coach stipend is twice as much as the dance team coach with the MOU, but 800% higher than the dance team coach without the MOU. So one has to ask, for the stipend offered, who would want to take on the task of coaching the dance team for 2 consecutive seasons during the school year? A season that starts in August and extends to March. The fact that Coach Mindy stepped up mid-season 4 years ago to take on the coaching position at a time when the position had been abruptly vacated and has remained for the last 4 years speaks volumes to her commitment level. I commend and sincerely thank Mindy for her commitment to the team and very much appreciate and respect her coaching skills and the endless hours of her own personal time, all of which has brought recognition to Wethersfield High, especially with this year's competition successes. First place finish at state championships and placing 2nd and 5th at the regional championships. Additionally, one should further ask if the WHS athletic department views the dance team no different than any other varsity sport team. Why can't the language and the stipend terms in the teacher's contract change? Why hasn't this happened? How do we make this happen? I have to further ask, have you seen the dance team? Do you have any idea the hours committed to dance, the level of athleticism required to do the turns, the leaps, the jumps, the leg kicks, the teamwork required to be in total unison, the number of times executing the dance routines in practice, no different than running passing plays during football practice, no different than the base running plays during baseball practice, no different than the swim laps during swim practice, and no different than the cheer drills during cheer practice. Please, if you haven't seen the WHT dance team, go to YouTube and check out a video of the team, past or present. But hoping most of you have seen them in action at a Friday night football game or a basketball game and have seen their athleticism, their strength, their endurance, their competitiveness, and their teamwork. Again, no different than any other athlete at WHS. Let's keep Coach Mindy, and we do this by increasing her stipend with an MOU, which I just recently found out what that meant, bringing her stipend in line with the varsity cheer coach, followed by making the change in the teachers' union contract, recognizing the dance team as a varsity sport and not a club. Let the tradition of the WHS dance team continue. Let Wethersfield stand out and apart from our neighboring towns in the pride we have for a dance team. And I wasn't going to keep this, but I'm just going to add, the visiting team bleachers are not clapping, of course, for our football and or basketball teams, but they do clap for our dance team as they watch in total amazement. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Hi there. My name is Christine Kelly Lasella. I live at 37 Belmont Street in Wethersfield. First, thank you all for listening and for doing what you do, because I know there's a lot on all of your plates. This information just came to me like 2 weeks ago that I learned about where Mindy's pay grade and how the dance team is recognized or not recognized. I'm a mom of 2 members of the dance team. My son John graduated last year. He was the first male on the dance team. My daughter Grace is graduating Friday outside at the Cove, by the way, because it's not going to rain. And I was really upset to hear it. Having watched my children, my son especially, which was, amazing to watch, amazing for him to take this leap, and for our town to be a leader, that everybody accepted him as a young man on this team, to watch how they work as a team, they dance as a team, they exercise. So when the team was left, when John was a freshman without a coach, this was his first year in, and we thought, oh God, now what? Mindy did come in, and I won't reiterate everything that Mary and Cindy have said. She pulled this team together. They have championships. We go to competitions. Mindy is not just a coach after school. She is showing up on weekends at competitions, and she is encouraging them. My son now is a dancer at Hofstra University. They are national pom champions. John didn't start pom until he got to be a freshman at Wethersfield High School. He almost didn't try out for Hofstra. With the support from teammates, friends, Mindy McLaughlin, and Mary Ellen Riley, he tried out, and he's on the national championship team. And that's thanks to Wethersfield, everybody that contributed. My daughter had the best years of her life, made great friends. She was a captain, learned how to be a leader. And Mindy has been a mentor and done so much amazing things for this team. And I really just want to ask you all, just change it. Anything can be changed, anything. So I just implore you to please do that. It is a sport. I have been at sporting events, and this is no disrespect to any other athletes. I've had men come up to me and say, wow, this team is more of an athlete. We have more athletes on this team than some in the field. And I don't want that to sound rude or disrespectful. It's just an observation that people make. They don't just get up and do a kick line. They do a lot. These girls flip, they turn, they do strength training, and they work really hard at this. And it's important. So I just beg you guys, let Wethersfield continue to be proud. And we are one of the best around. And go look at YouTube, because you guys will enjoy it. Thank you.
Good morning, Board of Education members. My name is Alicia Hellman, address is 16 Desmond Drive in Wethersfield. I will be an incoming senior at Wethersfield High School. This will be my 4th year on the dance team and my first time being a captain. Miss Mindy McLaughlin has been my coach for the past 3 years for fall, winter, and competition season. The way that she has been compensated as a coach is extremely unfair given the amount of time and effort that she has brought to the team. She came into the team without having any experience with dance. However, as the years progressed, she started to understand the different expectations of us as a team and the different dance moves. She has coached us to placing first in all states and second in regionals. Thanks to her hard work and dedication, the dance team is now a part of the CIAC. With that being said, we don't want to lose her as a coach because of salary issues. Thank you for your time. Hopefully this will encourage a change of heart in the right direction. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairperson Carey, Vice Chairperson Cassio, and other members of the Board of Ed. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Leanne Burbank, and I reside at 37 Drummer Lane. My daughter is Hannah Power, and she is completing her freshman year, so this was her first year on the Wethersfield High School dance team. I am here in support of Mindy and to voice my opinion on the outstanding work that she has done with the Wethersfield dance team. As I understand it, she is not compensated in the same way as some other teams, specifically the cheerleading team. This makes no sense to me. These sports are primarily the same in regards to the schedules, the work ethic, the competitions, and they perform at the same games. Mindy is a shining example of the kind of person I want my daughter to be learning under. She is dedicated, hardworking, and a leader by example to the girls, not just in their learning their techniques and their dance steps, but also in regards to sportsmanship and the overall fun experience this sport is all about. Her pay should be at an even level with anyone else in charge of Wethersfield sports programs and in alignment with coaches at other schools performing these similar duties. The hours she puts in goes above and beyond what is expected. Even though the dance team is seasonal and she is working throughout the year to ensure her girls are ready to compete with the best teams in the state. Tryouts, practices, games, and competitions. She is always there to support the team. I'm sure the board has budgets to meet, and in our current world, everything is tight, but to lose Mindy over a few extra dollars that she truly deserves is a big mistake. Please don't let this happen. Let's continue this excellent program for the town of Wethersfield. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Andrew Rokeski. My address is 132 Midwell Road in Wethersfield. I'm here to discuss the issue that I've recently been made aware of concerning the Wethersfield High School dance team coach Minnie McLaughlin. I was pretty surprised and upset when I learned about the lack of consideration that was given and paid to Coach Mindy this past season. Coach Mindy deserves to be paid as the same as any of the other Wethersfield high school coaches, as she dedicates a lot of time and effort into the dance team, and she really cares about her students. My daughter Julia was an incoming ninth grader at Wethersfield High School, and she really enjoys the dance team, and it really helped her assimilate into Wethersfield High School as a freshman. And it's just wonderful to see the girls on the team, how they really perform together as a team, and they just love dancing. And Coach Mindy is a huge part of this team, and to hold the team together. I was very impressed with what I saw. Coach McLaughlin, she worked very hard during the year. She runs the practices, overseeing choreography, team uniforms, competition costumes, coordinating the dance team's halftime participation at the varsity football and the basketball games during the fall and winter seasons during the year. And she also takes care of getting us prepared for the team's attendance at the various adjudicated competitions that the team attends within the state. I do not feel it is fair that Coach McLaughlin is not treated equally like the other coaches at Wethersfield High School, and we'd be very sad, and I know all the girls sitting here would be devastated if we were to lose her as a result of this pay inequity. I asked that the Board of Education to do everything in your power to correct this oversight so we don't risk losing her as our coach. Wethersfield High School is a member of the Connecticut Association of Schools and the Connecticut Interscholastic Athletic Conference. And when I last checked, the dance team is listed as one of the teams on the CIAC's website and must abide by its rules just like any other of the other sports that Wethersfield High School has. The Wethersfield High School dance team is truly a sport. It's a team sport that requires physical acumen and ability, as well as proper coordination and synchronization amongst the dancers to make the dance look proper during a given performance and competition as well. As a result, this team requires regular physical, practices, which Coach Mindy she's on top of it all. She's worked so hard every practice, overseeing the girls every time, and we have a top-level team. I was amazed at how well we performed at states and even I think it was the regionals that we performed, and we have a high-level team. We came home with some plaques, I believe, for the hard work that they did, so I was surprised. We actually have a very, very good team in the state of Connecticut. We're one of the top that there is in Connecticut. So I have to credit not only the girls, but Coach Mindy she's in charge of this all, and she does such a wonderful job taking this over and just leading the girls to such a high level. As as a result, we would just like to see Coach Mindy be compensated in the same fashion as the other coaches of the sports teams that are offered at Weatherfield High School. I thank you very much for your time and letting me speak, and I appreciate all the hard work that you do as members of this Board of Education and all the work that you do for our town and on behalf of our school system. Thank you very much.
Hello. My name is Catherine Sank. I live at 95 Broad Street. My daughter Cora has been on the dance team for 2 years, and I'm not going to, I think everyone said it very well, exactly what I want to say. They said it better than I would probably say it. I just want to make sure, I just want to support Mindy, and I think it's time. I can't believe that she isn't being compensated appropriately as any other coach would be. I was shocked when I heard about it. So I'm just here to lend my support and hope that you guys will consider changing that. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to make public comment? Seeing none, public comment is closed. Mr. Emmett, Communications.
Thank you, Mr. Carey. Good evening again, everyone. The weather forecast for Friday is currently sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible, high near 90. Right now, at this point in time, going to be a little warm, but we are full steam ahead with graduation at the Cove. Do stay tuned. Again, as of this morning, they were talking about showers and more scattered thunderstorms. We'll be monitoring the weather over the course of the next several days, but right now we're looking at graduation at the Cove at 6 p.m. In addition to Wethersfield High School, we have step-up ceremonies going on across the district this week. Hanmer has already had their step-up ceremony. I attended Emerson's that took place at Silas, Deane last night. We have Silas, Deane team step-up ceremonies this week. We've had a couple that have already occurred. We have Webb taking place tomorrow evening, and Charles Wright will take place on Thursday evening. So it is a very, very busy time of the year as we wrap up this school year. From a COVID perspective, I had mentioned in last week's communication that this Friday will be the final COVID communication for the school year, and I hope for good. This year has been exceptionally challenging. We certainly never anticipated that we would see well over 1,500 cases impacting the district over the course of this year. The numbers continue to trend downward, as you've seen over the past month. We've seen that again over the course of this past weekend. So again, we're hopeful that this will continue to decrease. From a DPH standpoint, the Department of Public Health and the Connecticut Department of Education will be meeting over the course of the summer to plan out mitigation strategies for the fall and to monitor what the spread looks like. So over the course of the summer, as you know, we will be starting our summer school programming in early July. We will not be required by the DPH to do any type of reporting of cases, but I will tell you, we will have a nurse on staff. We will certainly be monitoring health and safety of our students, and if we have a student that has tested positive, we still have an ample supply of kits. And again, as I said to the community last week, if you need kits for travel plans this summer, please see your school nurse. We're certainly happy to provide those. And again, I think just so everybody knows, next Tuesday at the Town Council meeting, the action item will come before the Town Council with regard to the long-range building project for the Weathersfield Public Schools, building our future, our elementary schools. We have gone before Council once. The resolutions have been introduced at last week's meeting, and there will be public hearing and a vote on whether or not to approve this to go to referendum. So you are all aware from a grant application status, we continue to work tirelessly to complete all of the necessary paperwork so that we can submit the grant application to the state of Connecticut by the June 30th deadline. So I have a meeting on Thursday, and then we have multiple meetings next week to prepare our due diligence work, our updated enrollment study, our geotechnical borings, our educational specifications, and all the other necessary paperwork. So we are ready to go. It's been a long process, very involved process, and again, I appreciate the input of board members throughout the course of this process, as well as members of the public who have weighed in as well. So again, that meeting is taking place here in council chambers next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And with that, it's communications this evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Emmett. Moving on to action items. Mr. Cassio, I believe you have a motion for us.
Yes, I do. Recommended motion, move that the Board of Education cancel the regular Board of Education meeting scheduled for June 28th, 2022.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, discussions?
Comment?
Yes.
Just for the public record, I think we plan to use that time for some hearings that the board is required to take part in, so we're not just going to the beach.
That is correct. We have 2 grievance hearings that we need to hear, and we're looking to do that at the meeting on the 28th.
Any other comments? Seeing none with a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Thank you. Reports and discussion items. Board members, check your packets. If you have any committee meetings coming up, please let the chair know if you cannot make it. Board meetings held. Facilities and Maintenance Committee on 5/23/22. Mr. Cassio.
Yes, the committee met on May 23rd, Monday, at Stillman Building, 6 p.m. That basically was to review the information and presentation that was given to the town council on the school building plan. At that point, we looked at it and reviewed the stages, and the superintendent indicated to us what the impact was going to be, and the council in front of them has a $279 million bond proposal for elementary schools.
Thank you. Weathersfield Early Childhood Collaborative, the WECC, it was on 6/13/22. Ms. Granato.
Weathersfield Early Childhood Collaborative had a meeting on Monday, June 6th, and it was an in-person meeting. The mission of WECC is that all Weathersfield children birth to 8 are healthy, developmentally successful learners, and connected to the community. There are scheduled playground play dates at all the elementary schools for our incoming kindergartners this summer. Info went out to all the PTOs and community members for each elementary school. The successful transition to kindergarten, there are 4 one-week sessions starting on July 5th. Speakers for the parents of this group are the YMCA, the Police Department, Weathersfield Park and Rec, and Chartwells. And Kim Bobbin and Jen Welch have submitted a grant application to the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving Weathersfield Community Advisory Committee for funds to offset the difference between the Web Peer Placement Preschool and Park and Rec TLC program. The WECC summer priorities are successful transition to kindergarten, kindergarten readiness through playground play dates, meeting with elementary school principals, a website refresh, refocus on constant contact newsletter, and a national night out. So the WECC year in review is the 6th PEP graduating class this year, the 5th and final year of family learning, and Web and the TLC preschool is having a collaboration now, and parent voices at all WECC meetings. More details are available on the WECC website. Thank you.
Thank you. Meeting scheduled, the CREC Council meeting is on 6/15/2022. Finance and Information Committee meeting, 6/28/2022. There's no unfinished business. Public comment. Anyone in the public wishing to make comment, please come to the podium, state your name and address. You have 5 minutes. Seeing no public comment is closed. Board comment. Any board members wishing to make comment? Mr. Cassio.
Thank you, Chuck. Just a couple of comments. I want to just wish everyone a happy summer, healthy summer, and please be careful. The other thing, this past weekend, Eileen Griffin had the opportunity, I saw her on Sunday doing the sign around Webb. She weeded the whole area and pulled all the weeds out and replanted flowers so that if you're wondering what happened, if you go to Webb, it was Eileen Griffin in her ability to do that. We were worried that we were going to get caught on camera because we were taking the hose out. And I said, oh boy, we're in trouble. So anyways, and we did put some debris in the side over in the woods. So other than that, I wanted to mention that. But I wanted to congratulate the dance team. Thank you for coming out here tonight. And wonderful representation for us in our school, as well as all of our competitions that you did. I just want to thank you all for coming here. And just my own observations, this is a contractual obligation. So I just didn't want you to feel that we weren't listening. So with that being said, I think the understanding and the ability of where the coach falls as a coach, I've been down this road. My wife was the cheerleading coach at Wethersfield High School for 25 years. And it was a club. And she had 25 girls. So it took a while to get that stipend increased to where it is, but it's part of a conversation that needs to be had with the athletic director and the teachers union. That's where that comes together. I don't know what is in the budget, but I'm certainly aware that the superintendent has heard your concerns.
Any other board members? Yes, Dr. Regan LaFave.
Thank you. I want to start by picking up where my colleague John Cassio left off and congratulate the dance team on your incredible success in the state and in the region. I have absolutely no doubt that dance is a very demanding sport, and I congratulate you for how hard you've worked. As Mr. Cassio has said, as board members, we're not allowed to get involved in individual personnel discussions. That has to be done at the level of the high school. But I would like to reaffirm my support for a really important piece of federal legislation, which is Title IX, which in the 1970s established that there had to be parity and equity for both men's and women's sports. And I think one of the kind of hidden forms of inequality is when people assume that a sport that's dominated by men is necessarily harder than a sport that's dominated by women. And that can lead to the erroneous belief that, for example, football might be more difficult than cheerleading or dance. And we know that's not true. So on a policy level, because we have to confine our discussions to policy, I just want to say how much I support that. And I support making sure that sports that are dominated by women are given equal support in our school system. I think that's the right thing to do. It's the moral and ethical thing to do, and I also believe it's the legal thing to do. So I hope that will factor into any discussions that come about as you move forward, and I encourage you to do so.
Preach it.
Thanks, man. Woman. And if I could just comment on something unrelated, but I think is actually we could tie these in together. I wanted to say something about the discussion about the elementary school referendum, which is going to come before town council next week. I encourage anybody who's listening in or reading these minutes to speak up. I think I can speak for all board members when we really want to see new schools. We know that our schools are out of date and we need better ones. And I know it's been very difficult for families at Charles Wright, because one of the plans is that Charles Wright, as it currently stands, would no longer be an elementary school, that we would move from 5 to 4 schools. And the reason for that is because the physical site, like the plot of land on which the school is currently built, wouldn't be funded by the state to build the type of school that we need. They basically would say, you can't put this many people in this kind of square footage. My personal hope is that in the longer term, we can use that for something else, like maybe we'll get federal free preschool and we could have that be the building, but that's a long way away at this point. But what I would suggest is that as we move from 5 to 4 schools, if we go ahead with the referendum and it passes, that we think about renaming some of our schools, and that it be up to the new PTOs and the school communities to think about that. Because really, we're not getting rid of Charles Wright and moving Charles Wright kids someplace else. We're creating 4 new schools. better schools, the kind of schools that people in the Charles Wright District really deserve, because what they have right now is not good enough. It really isn't. And I would suggest that those PTOs get together and think really creatively about the names we want to give these schools. Highcrest is not named after a person, it's named after the street it sits on. Why don't we have a school in Wethersfield that's named after a woman? Why don't we have a school in Wethersfield that's named after an Indigenous Wagnung person? These are things that we could consider, and I think that's a really exciting opportunity to have a new school that really reflects the community. So I would urge people to consider that as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Roberts.
Yes, I just wanted to congratulate the dance team on how well they've done and also on their advocating this evening. One of my daughters was on the dance team, and they were magnificent back then. This was 13 years ago. But they had an amazing coach who was also everywhere doing everything, and they won competitions. But back then they were a club, and they were struggling to be recognized as a sport. So the struggle continues, and I'm just glad that you are advocating. I also wanted to mention that I had the opportunity to stop in at the Music Awards night. It was wonderful. I've just, between the dance and then the music part, I just really find the teachers and the students to be very inspiring. It was an exciting evening of watching students who are just so dedicated. So I really enjoyed it, and they were certainly deserving, the students who were recognized.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make comment? Ms. Granato.
Okay, I have some closing comments here about the Weathersfield Education Foundation, but before I do that, I'd like to state my comrades here that this is right. This is the right thing to do, is to build this sport up, which you have, from a club sport to a varsity sport. And I hope that does happen, and I hope that, as we just said, Title IX is well respected in this town, and I believe it is, and maybe this is something that has to be corrected. So good luck to all of you. It really isn't a board issue per se, but your voices are heard. I'd like to talk about the Weathersfield Education Foundation, which continues its work to enrich and enhance the Weathersfield Public School curriculum. Emerson Williams music teachers and musicians received a $1,000 grant from them to purchase one soprano alto and 2 bass or xylophones for their general music classroom and 4 chromatic bell kits for their instrumental classroom, and they were so thankful. The foundation will be sponsoring a food truck festival on July 19th from 4 to 7 at the Cove Park. Please join the family fun with delicious food, face painting, the River Bend book truck will be there, and many other kids' activities. The foundation also secured a $10,000 grant from AT&T. The purpose of the grant is to support the creation of One School, One Book for grades 7 and 8 at the Silas Deane Middle School. And this program links the literary, arts, and digital resources while promoting education for underserved students. Great enthusiasm and work by a very dedicated Weathersfield Education Board. Any more information that you would like is available on their website. And my final comment is for our Weathersfield High School graduating class of 2022. You made it through all the interruptions of COVID and have developed a strong resiliency that will serve you well in the future. I wish you the best of everything as you take a giant step into the next world, and let it be a brave new world. And be the change you wish to see in this world. So good luck.
Thank you. Any other board members? Yes, Mr. Riley.
Wanted to congratulate the dance team. I saw them perform several times at football games. I support dance. All my kids have gone to dance. My cousin is Mary Ellen Riley at Dance 10. And it's nice to see you, Mary.
Anyone else? Seeing none, do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. The board is in executive session.